Everyone, welcome to another episode of Daily Energy. I am your host, Araya Eden. The day's energy is one when I will tell you that you want to focus on yourself. You see how I changed my wig out? You want to focus on yourself. You want to focus on self-love today. Okay, some of you set the trends yesterday. Some of you got organized yesterday. Well, we're still in that same energy today because self-love has different areas to it. Self-love could be you putting on your best dress, feeding into yourself, going to take yourself out on a date, getting some rest. It could be just you relaxing, relating, releasing. It could be doing some journaling. But you want to focus on your well-being today, your well-being, not his well-being, not her well-being, your well-being. Today is your day. Today is your day to get a massage if you need a massage, a spa, go to a spa, get your nails done, get your hair done, go get you a suit. You know what I typically tell you on a day like this. This is the day to do that. However, while you're out doing that, I will tell you, do it in the daytime, okay? Do it in the daytime. Don't be out too late tonight, okay? Don't be out too late tonight because tomorrow's energy has a habit of coming in on today's energy later on. Today is a day for policing and politics, you know? And so because of that, we're going to see a lot of government activity, a lot of government movement, okay? We're going to hear a lot more about that. And because of that, not just because of the government activity, but because of tomorrow's energy being one of, I'm going to say, of restlessness, okay? And people do things when they're restless. So this is a time when I will tell you to be in the house at a decent hour over the next 1 to 2 days. Starting today, I will also tell you today, make sure you have the things that you need to have in order, such as your registrations, your tags, whatever. Make sure you have that together before you get out here on these streets. And make sure you go to speed limit. Make sure you're doing the right things the right way when it comes down to the law. Because if you're not doing things the right way when it comes down to the law, that could be a problem later on, okay? So make sure you're doing things the right way. All right, so because, you think about, I told you that we're entering this period of domestic disputes. And so think about what would cause the police to be out policing today, other than them doing their natural job. But today you will likely see 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You see? And if you're not doing right, you could actually get pulled over by 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You see? So this is a day of caution that I'm telling you about. Tomorrow as well. Okay, tomorrow is not, they'll still be out and about, but tomorrow is one of those situations to where, you don't want to be out tonight, because, especially not past 12, because the devil's minions are going to be out and about, seeking whom they may devour. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I told you that people are going to be reporting seeing demons and devils or something along those lines. Do you know that that actually happened? And it was I think it was in Carrollton. I'm in Texas. So I think it was someone knocking on people's doors with a devil mask or a demon mask on, and holding up, I think it was Revelations 1:20 sign. This person was knocking on doors, holding up a sign. I need to read more into that story because I don't know what the story was about all together, but I do remember seeing that picture, and I would be like, okay, if I saw that on my door cam, what my response would have been. So Yeah, so that's something to be cautious about. I don't know, I get these calls, right? Because, I'm an intuitive, so I get these calls, right, in my intuitive sessions. And I'm trying to work, and then somebody will come and their title, their name is Demon Time. Do you think I answer that call? I don't answer that call because I know immediately what that's about. When you say demon time, and sometimes I answer the phone, and I promise you, I feel like I'm on, it's not phone, I'm online. And I promise you, I feel like I'm on OnlyFans. That's what it feels like. And I tell them, I said, why do you come here to do that? Why don't you go to a place like OnlyFans that's catered to you? Because I'm going to hurt your feelings. And you might not like what I got to say to you when you do stuff like that. But so that's how I learned not to pick up the phone or not to answer those calls when it says demon time. I don't got time for nobody that wants to introduce themselves as a demon. You don't deserve my attention. And when you get it, you might not want it. You definitely won't like it. Okay? The day's energy is also one that brings in new concepts. This is the day of the visionary. So this is a day of a visionary. And so I want you to know that if you have a vision, that vision is not necessarily going to work the way you want it to when you want it to, because you got to remember you're ahead of time. You're ahead of time. That happens to me all the time. Because, I'm original. You're original. I was born to be original. You were born to be original. Just like Joseph. He was original. You see? And when you have a vision, you can oftentimes be ahead of the trend. Why? Because you are a trendsetter. But you are not just any trendsetter, because as I discussed yesterday, certain trendsetters, they're free. They just want to express themselves. But you are a trendsetter that gets things done. You're a trendsetter with a vision. You're a trendsetter with a purpose and a promise over your life. You're a trendsetter that you've been working on something probably for a long time. You know what your purpose is, and you did it. And you got it done. Now you're faced with, are they going to accept it or not? And oftentimes, they're not going to accept your vision. And you know why they're not going to accept your vision? Because they didn't see the vision that you saw. They didn't see the dream that you dreamed, that you dreamt. I remember me and my sister was driving down the street one day, and we were headed to Corsicana. And so when we were driving, I just so happened to look up in the sky, and I seen like this mountaintop. And I'm gonna say less because I don't know what that was about. And it looked so real that it looked like we were headed into the mountains. And I asked my sister, I said, Shantae, do you see that? Because, at this time, I'm still learning my gift, and I want to know, am I crazy? And so luckily, she saw what I saw. But some people, they're not going to see what you see. This brings me back to Joseph. And Joseph went to his brothers, and he went to his father and his mother, and he told them about the dream that he had, and how he had the dream that where he is now is not where he's going to be later. And he saw that basically his brothers will bow down to him one day. You see, he had that vision. But here's the thing about a vision. God will show you a vision, but oftentimes God is not going to show you how that vision is going to come about. Because he knows that if you were to know how that vision was going to take place, how that vision was going to come true, you would never seek to engage. You would try to cower in a corner and never go outside again if you knew how it would come about. I hear a lot of people always ask me questions that are so vain, and they want to know when they're going to get married. That gives hope, but they want to know when they're going to get the engagement ring. And I'm like, why you want to know when you're going to get the engagement ring? That ruins the element of the surprise. I'll give you a time frame, but I'm not going to give you a specific date. That ruins the element of surprise. And today is all about the element of surprise. And sometimes we want to know things that are not going to be beneficial for you to know. Yes, I'm a seer, but I'm not going to tell you everything, because some things you just don't need to know. And that's when it comes down to your moral compass. See, some people are out here doing things without a moral compass. Not I. I have a moral compass. And so I guess that's the difference between that and this. Okay? That and this. This knows better. This knows better. And so when you find someone that has also had a vision themselves, and that vision didn't necessarily work out, they know better. So they know what you're talking about, even though they didn't see what you saw. So they're able to believe, what you said you saw. So it was Joseph's brothers that came up against Joseph, not his father. Because his father already knew what could be. He knew what existed because he was able to see. Sometimes, and I know a lot of you are like, oh, she's a seer. Yes, I'm a seer. That's what you can call me, I guess. Some people call me a prophetess, but I'm a seer. That means I can see things that other people do not see because I am pure in heart. As it is said, the pure in heart shall see God, and my God, have I seen God. So if you're not seeing God, you don't know God, you don't understand God, consider that maybe you're not pure in heart and you still have some work to do. You're still trying to say, I'm not perfect. And if you're not perfect, that means you're not striving for perfection, right? Don't settle in that imperfection. And if they would have known what the vision was, if Joseph would have known what the vision was, he would what it meant, he would have settled in imperfection and tried to play small and not reach. He would have never went out into that field that day out of fear. So sometimes, you remember, sometimes Father will tell you stuff, but he ain't going to tell you how it's going to come about all the time. You're going to have to figure some of that stuff. He'll let you know your purpose. But he might not tell you exactly what you're going to have to go through to become your purpose. Do you hear what I'm saying? He might not tell you what you're going to have to go through to become your purpose. And so, but some people don't see your vision. They have different perspective because they never been where you are. They never been where you are. They never been where you're going. They don't have the creative mindset. They don't produce. They complain. You hear me? They don't produce. They complain. They don't overcome. They complain. They stay down in that ditch of woe is me. That's not your place. That's not your position anymore. You got to reach. You got to try to reach that vision. That's why it's so important that you have a vision in sight, because if you don't have a vision, then you're aimlessly going. And people are calling you crazy because they think you're aimlessly going, but they don't know that you're trying to become your purpose. You're trying to become fit for the vision that you see ahead. That's why I tell a lot of people that I'm going through my process, because I done seen the vision, as I've seen many of you in that vision. And I can look at some of you right now and know exactly who you are. If you think that God has not called you out, God has called you out, Pastor Lindaria. Do you hear what I'm saying? He showed me you ahead of time. Some of you, he showed me you ahead of time, because he's gone before you. He said, okay, I'm going to show you this vision for you, but now I'm going to show you who else is in your vision. He showed me a vision, and there was a group of people, and that we had to go in the house, but in order to get in the house, we had to find a coin. See, a lot of you that was with me in that room, you lost your mind. That had to enter that house, you lost your mind, or I lost it for you. I lost it for you because I'm the one that found the coin in the murky water. We had to go through some murky water, and we had to get in the house. And when we got in this big old house, we were chased by demons and vampires in this big old house. And some of us fell off. And that's why I told you yesterday, I will never leave you behind. Those of you that listen. But he's pointed you out. When I see you, baby, I want you to know that I know exactly who you are to me and who you are to God. And when I tell you are the real chosen. Do you hear me? You are the real chosen. You are those who walked with Jesus himself, the one that you call Jesus, the one that others call Jesus, the one, but you probably like me know him by a different name, but we walked with him. We had a personal relationship with him. We are the ones that are talked about that will rise up with him at that time. And so when you are calling yourselves chosen, I want you to know some of you are the real chosen. And I am going to be able to point you out and identify you. And if I can't point you out and identify you, I'm not going to claim you to be chosen. Do you hear what I'm saying? So I want you to continue on doing what you're doing and follow the vision that God has placed in you, because he's been with you for ever since you were a little child. God has been with you ever since you were a little child. The Holy Spirit, the Son, has been with you ever since you were a little child, raising you up, getting you prepared for a time such as this. That's why you're coming out swinging, because you were swinging then, but now, see, then they beat you down. They crucified you along with Christ. They crucified you. They beat you down. But now they can't beat you down. They can't beat you down because you were transformed. And now you're made new. Now you're made whole, because you're not just flesh and bones. You are spirit. You are an emanation of God. You are unique and divinely chosen. And because of that uniqueness and divinely chosen, you will attract people in your life that's not going to get you, that's going to have their opinions of you, that's going to try to beat down your vision. But you hold fast the vision that God, the divine, has given you. Hold fast to his promise, because when it's all said and done, that's all that's going to be able to matter. That's going to matter. He said, in the end, it's going to make sense. It might not make sense to you now, but in the end, it's all going to make sense. It's all going to come together for glory. It's all going to come together for the kingdom. You are a kingdom tribe. Oh, Israel. That is who you are. And so hold fast the vision, although people call you crazy. Because you know what I tell you, you can go places when you're crazy, but you can die of starvation when you're stuck. And without a vision and without knowing your purpose, you're stuck. And that's why many are still in the ditch crying, woe is me. And baby, there's nothing wrong if you're in that ditch right now. But know that there's people that's reaching in trying to help you out. But know that there is a ladder down there in that ditch with you. And how do I know? It's because I was in the ditch singing the same thing woe is me. There's this song that I was singing before I came on, and it said, I am healed. You don't have to worry. I can see your tears. You know what song I'm talking about? I'll be there in a hurry when you call. I don't remember the whole song. Friends will be there to help you when you fall. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me. Now, the significance of that song is to let you know that you're not in the world alone. That's why I'm here telling you that God has pointed you out. And I'm sure he's pointed me out to some of you. God has pointed you out. When I say I know who you are, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I'm so grateful and excited all at the same time to be holding a space with you again, chosen saints of God. Okay? Some people ain't gonna know who you are, but I know who you are. Okay? So that's what the day's energy brings in. It brings in that vision that people don't understand. And you got to hold fast the vision, the purpose that God gave you. You're authentic for a reason. So people aren't going to get it because you're ahead of the trend. Okay. You're going to bring in new systems, new organizations. You're going to start businesses that's going to catapult this era, this time that we're in the age of Aquarius, because you embody the age of Aquarius. You are unique. You are the spiritual leaders. You are the ones to bring this world back together. You are the ones to uplift it and hold it up. So that's why sometimes you feel like the world is on your shoulders. It's because it is. But know that you're not carrying the world alone. And I saw earlier today, in one of my predictions, it was showing me, it was talking about someone basically trying to take themselves out. And they try to take themselves out. You know why? Because they don't understand. That's why it's so important and it's so significant that you asked why. So you start to understand what's really going on. And there's more that's going on than what meets the eye. But you won't know unless you ask the right questions. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. You got to begin to ask the right questions. Don't take yourself out before it's time. Don't take yourself out, because you'll be doing a disservice. Before I knew who I was, I tried to take myself out. But you know that I'm going to be the one that's going to point you out. And if I took myself out, those of you who I'm supposed to point out may not have gotten their time, may not get their time, may not get their stage. Because the one that was supposed to point you out was not there. Think about if John was not doing baptisms that day to point Jesus out. Just think about that. Maybe people would have eventually knew who Christ was, but it would not hit the same. Just think about if the cupbearer and the bread maker, I forget who it was, just think about, or the advisor to the Pharaoh, just think about if they were not in the cell with Joseph. They would not have been able to remember that Joseph was a dreamer. Baby, you are a dreamer. And you just have not gotten pointed out yet. But the divine is sending someone to point you out. And when you get pointed out, it is now your time to point somebody else out. So if you take yourself out before it's time, you will be doing the world, not yourself, the world and yourself a disservice. You will be doing the kingdom a disservice. Because I want you to know that you are needed here in a time such as this. I know they beat down on your spirit. I know they called you crazy. They made you feel less than. They talked about your disability. But I want you to know that your disability is not a disability, it's an ability. It's an ability to go where nobody has gone before and do what nobody else has done before. I see you walking on nubs. I see you doing beauty videos even though you've been burnt. I see you picking up the weight although you're weak and feeble. I see you writing books although you're illiterate or have been called illiterate. Because you don't speak English, you speak kingdom. I want you to know that you don't speak English, you speak kingdom. You don't speak curses, you speak life. So you better know it. I see you hearing, yet being deaf. I see you seeing with no eyes. I see you cooking, baby, with no hands. You're kingdom approved. I see you rapping, although people don't understand and they might have wrote you off and they said no one will be attracted to you because you don't look like you should look. You don't fit the part. You don't fit the bill. You're too taboo. I see you. You're still holding a smile on your face. And still stepping into your calling and still crying out to God, although people say you are insufficient. Why? Because you still have a vision. You still have a promise. And you still have a purpose. Do not take yourself out. I know I tried it. But chosen, your time is not now. Your time to go is not now. Your time to live has just begun. It's only just begun. Okay, it's just begun. Oh, she on one right now. Let the Spirit lead you. All right, come through, Father. All right, thus we will see new organizations introduce new systems and methods for doing things, and they may not be adopted, they may not be accepted, but just know, like I said, you are above and ahead of the trend. If you are introducing a product or sharing a vision, is it important that you don't get frustrated and continue to educate the public? I remember watching an episode, I think it was of Shark Tank, and they were basically talking about how they would have to educate the public on new products that came in because it's so new that people don't know what it is. So just like you tell people how to treat you, just like you teach people how to treat you, and you show people what to expect from you, you show people what to expect from your gift, you show people what to expect from your product, you show people what to expect from your vision, you show them how to work. And as long as you don't give up, eventually it will catch on. Think about some of the people that created pants. that created clothes while everybody around here walking around naked. And they created the clothes and everybody thinking this is witchcraft, talking about that's witchcraft, and they up here naked, everybody else clothed. Wait a minute, never mind. Because you know Adam and Eve invented clothing, right? Adam and Eve invented clothing. Yeah, they did. All right. So, it's that you are ahead of time. Eventually, you will be successful if you keep going and don't give up. However, all that work. Oh, however, I can't read this. At all that work. Oh, however, after all that work that you put in, that's why I say take care of yourself, okay? Do something nice for you today. This is the day, I don't care who calls you. You can go out with your friends and get your nails did, all that stuff. But it's about self-care. It's about you doing what you need to do for you today. And sometimes that could be rest. See, the day of friendship is in 2 days. That's the day to call up your friend and plan to go out with your friends. But really today is about you, self-care, self-love. Who am I? What am I here for? What is my purpose in life? Ask the right questions. What is your vision for me, Father? What is your vision for my future, God? What is your vision for me? And I want you to know that you cannot get to your future vision. You cannot get to that vision. You cannot get to that dream if you're not present in the now. If you're not focused on the now. If you're focused on what happened to you in the past, then you will not catch the trends of the now for the future. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be present in the now. That's why the now is so important, because what's going on now is what you can fix when it needs to be fixed. What you can learn when it needs to be learned. Catching the trends. You see, I saw YouTube when YouTube first came out, and I looked at it like it was crazy because I was stuck in the past. And I didn't want to put my face out here. And I just almost missed a trend. I almost missed a trend. Now, you know I do poor analogies. I'm going to get better at my analogies and my metaphors, but rock with me. That's what I got. And speaking of rock is the word of the day. All right. But anyways, rock with me. Rock with me. Rock with me. Okay. Oh, I almost started singing Tina Turner. Rock me, baby. Rock me all night long. Rock me, baby. Rock me, baby. Okay, anyways. It's a day of self-care, patience, discipline. You'll need patience and discipline. Okay? Patience and discipline. So self-care is a good way to practice patience. It's what you can do now in the meantime. In the meantime, you can get yourself ready. In the meantime, you can get yourself prepared for the time to come. Okay, so reward yourself for the progress that you have made. See, you don't went through the process and now you got the product. You don't went through the process, now you got the business. You don't went through the process, now you got the, I don't know, you got the CD. You don't went through the process, now you got something. Yes, you got something because you went through the process to get to your progress. And it doesn't matter who doesn't like your process. You still got to go through it to get to your progress. Okay. So reward yourself for that, because that wasn't an easy thing to do. The process is hard. You remember I was telling you the olive, like who was that? Jacqueline Carter says, the olive has to go through the shaking, the beating, and the pressive. You went through all of that for your all to flow. Now is your greater. If it had not been for the shaking, I never would have been ready for the making. If it was nothing for the beating, I would have never know how anointed I would be. Oh, your greater is coming. I want to let you know, greater is coming. She sings it best, baby. Jacqueline Carr, she sings it best, okay? But that was my song. Trusting me and trusting we got through a difficult time listening to her. I'm going to tell you. Trusting shouts to what's that song? If you want it, you can have it. If you need it, you can have it. It's yours. Okay, so it's yours, okay? If you want it, if you need it, you can have it, okay? And that's if God says so, because for some of us we might want it, but we can't have it because it's not good for us, okay? It will contaminate the blessings that God wants to give you in the future. Okay, this energy also, today's energy also brings in the fear of commitment as we just entered relationship rocky waters. Okay, there's rocky. Relationships will bring in, we enter the series to where things are going to be difficult in the realms of relationship, not just husband, wife, not just girlfriend, boyfriend, but mother, father, sister, brother. You know, we're in this era, and this time is prophecy. That at that time, fathers will get into it with mothers will get into it with daughters, etc., etc., etc. This is men. What is it said? Men see visions. I don't know it verbatim. Y'all know I got but and dreams is prophesied that some of us will see visions and dreams. So if you don't have that vision and if you don't have the dream, don't look at me like it's something wrong with me. I was chosen. Said I was chosen for a time such as this. You better know they don't have the vision because they were not chosen for a time such as this. They've been here. I said they've been here all alone. They are called the Pharisees and the Sadducees prophesied to be here in this time, because the Bible says that surely this generation shall not pass away until the Son of Man returns. And I want to know that the Son of Man, the one you call, the one divine, the Son of the Most High, is here. He has risen, that which never died. Okay? All right? I went there. For that reason, take some time to yourself, okay? Because this will allow you to woosah, okay? Woosah. And get to know yourself and get to know some emotional intelligence, because otherwise you will lash out. I'm telling you. It don't matter how sweet you are. It don't matter how shy you are. The more you feel weighed down, it's like, all of a sudden, like you will just snap. And you see that show, right? Snap. When people, in these relationships, they just snap. Because they held on to so much, because they didn't study their emotional intelligence. They didn't try to understand, and they just kept going through those shakings, the beatings, and the pressings without, well, that's a bad analogy, but they didn't try to understand, and they just snapped. You know how the bully ends up becoming the bully? That was my story to a certain extent. I used to get bullied when I was younger. And then when I moved and I changed schools, some of them probably look at me as the bully. But in truth, I never did anything to anybody that didn't do something to me. You talk about my mama, all bets are off. I'm telling you, all bets are off. Okay? So some of y'all that got your butt whooped back then, you deserved it. Because I didn't have emotional intelligence back then. I have it now. But I was going to tell you something before. It was I think her name was Miss Taylor. Mrs. Taylor, she looked at me one day, and this changed my life, this conversation, because I was mad. I was heated. I'll tell y'all this story another day, though. But I was mad. I was heated. I was hot. I was like, I studied all day for that test. No, it applies. I studied all day for that test. I studied all night for that test. I actually studied, y'all. And I was excited to take this science test. And so I'm ready. I said, I'm finna pass this test. I get in there. And then all of a sudden, they called all the black students into the office. Now, I went to a predominantly white school. I mean, there was only 2 of us in the school. And they called all the black kids in the office. Now, mind you, I've grown up in this town. My dad was the bus driver. Never had any problems with anybody. And so they say at this time, I'm in high school, and a letter's been put in somebody's locker saying, Coombs, go back home. Now, even though that was the case, I was still upset because I studied for this test. And when I learned about what happened, I was like, but why are you calling me into the office? And I think they might not have understood my frustration, because I was always in the office. And so the time that I didn't do anything to come in the office, now you want to call me in the office, and I'm like, what this got to do with me? It wasn't my locker. But that's what they say had happened. And that was my mindset at the time. I get it a little bit better now of why they pulled us all in the office. But she looked at me. I was hot. And when I'm hot and I think something's unfair, I speak up. And she looked at me and she said, you know, my name, I'm going to say Nika, because all of y'all don't need to know. But at that time, she said, you know what? She said, you like a little firecracker. And she said, people can say 2 words to you and you just go off. And that caused me to look at myself differently. That caused me to want to make a change. Want to make a change for once in my life. I wanted to make a change because it was pivotal in my life, that statement that she made. Because I was like, you know what, you're right. I am like a little firecracker. I do go off. I'm mad. I'm angry. Why? So it caused me to ask why. Why am I mad? Why am I angry? Pivotal. So her opinion of me, it didn't matter, but it began to matter. Why? Because I began to value it. So people are going to have opinions about your creations, about your vision. But it only matters once you start to value it. Okay? You can either accept it or not accept it at all. But take some time for yourself to see if that's something that you want to do. Appreciate the opinions of others. That doesn't mean you have to accept them and apply them. You may find them to be helpful down the line. This is a day of unconventional methods. There will likely be groundbreaking discoveries today. Things that will have one scratching their heads, trying to figure out how they were able to accomplish such a thing. My friend, I know the weight has been heavy on you, and you don't even know how. Some of you can look back over your life and not even know, not even, can't even, it baffles you how you were able to overcome the stuff that you overcame. But I want to let you know that though it looked like you were doing it by yourself, you were never doing it alone. You were never, ever, ever, you were never, ever doing it alone. Okay? So, today, some of the predictions that I have right now is about fruit. Okay, something significant about fruit. I got the core of a fruit. I'm getting a lot of the core of a fruit. It's January, so some of you may want to do your winter planting, your cabbage, your cauliflowers, your onions, your leeks, some varieties of bok choys, that type of thing. In certain zones, I guess that's zone, what is it, 5 through 7, that you could actually do your winter sowing, and this actually helps it germinate and produce better and sprout better in spring. So you could actually sow your seeds in the winter time. That's why when we were into the winter times of our lives, I kept telling you to work on your craft, in a sense, and that the snow's melting, and the seeds that we planted long ago, they're being incubated. Okay, they were being incubated. Okay, and so that's what's going on here. So it's a good time for to get your plants growing for the spring. If you can't do it outdoors, this is something that you can do indoors. So I'm getting the core of a fruit. That's a choking hazard. So be watching these babies, be watching your elders, making sure nobody chokes on fruit or anything like that. But I'm getting something about core. It might be a company that's called Core. We might hear something about, I'm getting World of Warcraft. Yesterday, I told you something about Star Wars, and yes, it came to pass to where Star Wars announced yesterday that they're getting ready to release a new movie, and they also released, I want to say, a new comic book yesterday as well. So for those of you who are adult children, you can go see what that's about. Okay, and then if not, you can get that for your children who read comic books. Okay, and you don't have to be adult children to read comic books. You could just be artists. Okay, you could be artists. There's a lot of people that read comic book that's adults, as long as it's not unhealthy, as long as you don't just sit around smoking weed, playing video games, or reading comic books. Okay, that was a dig. Yes, it was. Krog. Okay, so passenger, musician. I'm getting hanging, suspended, and so some people, we may see an increase in. Yesterday it was mental health. Today is suicide ideation. Okay. So if you feel like that's what you are thinking about doing, reach out to someone. Call the suicide hotline. Call 911. Call somebody. Okay. And talk to someone. Okay. Because you think you want to, but take it from someone who has experienced that. You don't. Okay? You don't. Don't play with your life like that. It's so important. Okay? I'm getting something here about a club stick mace. Carry your mace with you. We're going to see a lot of, like I said, domestic beatings. We're going to see over the news beatings with bats. A lot of bats and like fighting, knocking down over the next 1 to 3 days. Okay, so a lot of fighting. There might be another company that goes on strike, because I'm getting strike. Okay. Okay. There is a birth of a saint today. There's either a birth of a saint or a realization of a saint. This is a saint getting their memories back today, knowing that they are and they have been. And I'm getting the Saint Rosh. Okay, Rosh, Roch. This is the saint that's coming in. So this is someone that's coming in to be a patron to those who are homeless and those who are looked upon as being less than. Okay, I don't know too much about Rosh, but that's what I'm getting here. That saint will be born today. We see expressions and surprise. So you may get a surprise today, or it might be surprised by someone's actions. I'm getting surprise here. Okay, a lot of government activities right now, and as well, because we're just entering into a new term. So you're going to see more about government activities on the news over the next 1 to 3 days. Governors will be highlighted. I'm getting something significant about a governor, and this governor might do something that has consequences for many, many people that they may not realize that has those consequences. This could also be a business organization or a change in a government organization, a website, or the way systems are handled here. Okay, so I'm getting an affair, selfish, greed and selfishness. Greed and selfishness. But look, for you, my baby, when it comes down for you personally, you cannot be selfish or selfless without first considering yourself, without first being yourself. Okay, let me say it again. You cannot be selfless or selfish without first being yourself. So you need to make sure you are taken care of. Because if you're not good for you, you're not good for nobody else. If you don't love you, you can't love nobody else. You think you do, but not the way that you have the potential to. Okay, so we have people being selfish, people being unfair, and this someone's will try to like it's like a monopoly here. So it's having to do with movement, the way they're moving, and it's really selfish because they want to take control here. It says take or use most of all of something in an unfair or selfish way to monopolize, dominate, take over, cover, and control. Okay, coming in as a pig, swine. I'm seeing something about a pig or a swine. So we got the bird flu going on, and there was a report that there was one elderly person that died from bird flu. So yeah, hearts go out to their family at this time. But I'm getting something about pig and swine and boars. And so hopefully it's not the swine flu, but I am picking up on that energy. Now, I don't eat the pig. I don't eat the pork, okay, because it doesn't do good for my ancestors, and it doesn't do good for me, okay, because it causes, they say, okay, because I'm not a medical doctor, but it causes that thing called hypertension. So I no longer eat the pig and the pork, but and I just stopped eating chicken, and it was so hard. It was so hard to do. But with this whole bird flu thing, that might be something y'all want to consider. Is you don't have to go vegan, but you might want to take out some of the things that are not good for your blood type. Okay. My blood type is B positive, and everything is not good for my blood type. I love chicken. But it was causing me some problems. Okay. So I'm also getting something about ship coming in here. Ship. So we may see something significant coming in the news over the next 1 to 3 days about a ship. I'm also seeing Harley Davis. So I'm getting bikes. So if you're riding bikes, go the speed limit because you may get pulled over today. Be cautious because bikes, Harley Davidsons, there might be a new bike that comes out, but you also want to watch out for accidents. Okay, so that's increase in bikes and bicycle accidents. Type of thing. So pedestrian accidents in that way, pedestrian walking, but I'm getting here riding bikes. Okay. Young sheeps, young goats, emergencies. Emergency is a word of the day as well. So an increase in visits to the emergency room. Take care of yourself. I'm seeing earthquakes and volcanoes still. There is a volcano. I'm getting gas from a volcano. So there's a volcano revving up, getting ready to erupt. Okay. It may already have. I don't watch the news like that. Because this is your news before the news. I'm getting projection over the next 38 days. There are going to be people projecting onto you their insecurities. So focus on your vision and know that it's not you. Someone's going to be copying somebody's stuff without permission. Not permission necessarily. It's not the permission. It's the acknowledgement. Okay? Acknowledgement. All right? So I'm also seeing contests coming in. And people who feel like they're unequal with their peers or they don't have any friends, and that's why they start trying to take themselves out. But reach out and be a friend, okay, to someone. Okay, be a friend to someone today, or over the next 1 or 3 days, especially in 2 days. Call somebody else that you would never like, that didn't even know that you liked them. Call them up and let them know that you are a friend to them. Leave them a message and say, I'm your friend, even though you don't know we friends. That's something I would do. I'm your friend, although you don't even know we friends. Okay, because I want you to make it. Because friends will be there to help you when you fall. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me. Lean on me. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me. Okay, so some people may be feeling sick, not themselves. Okay, that's why I said increase in emergency room visits. Okay, what you do today will result in facing those consequences tomorrow. Okay, so be cautious of that. I see needlework and stitching and craft. Okay, I see that coming in here as well. Some people, that's their self-care. They just want to knit. So questions and answers, go. And quiet, okay? Quiet. You don't have to always respond. Make do with what you have, okay? Express your emotions to yourself in your journal before you express your emotions to someone else in the open. I'm also getting more coming in about someone beating prostitutes. This could be a serial prostitute beater or a pimp or something along those lines. I'm getting an increase in police arrests when it comes to escorts. Okay, somebody may find out that their wife or their husband has been doing something that they would frown upon, and so that's why they are fighting over the next 38 days or so, okay? Because that's the energy that came in. Navigation system, that could be that ship that I heard, that I saw, and then radio and something happening with their beacon or something like that. Excitement, admiration, and alarm, okay? Make sure you put your alarms on your car. Make sure you put the alarms on your door over the next 1 to 3 days. Make sure your camera is charged. Okay, to some company, what they intended to do is logical. Oh, that to some company, what they're trying to do is logical. However, it will cause much damage and loss. I love you, my friend. Okay, Gubla one, hearts go out. You get a heart. You get a heart. You get a heart. Hearts go out. Hearts go out. Bye.